Okay, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. It looks like it rained all night. So obviously, well, I already knew it was going to rain. So I'm not working today. We're probably not going to be working tomorrow. Probably not going to be working the rest of the week. I'm supposed to do the skid job over there where me and Phil was at yesterday. I'm supposed to do the skid mulching over there on Friday. And that'll be, well, I don't really need no help. I might bring Cam over there if we don't work any before then, just to he can kind of help keep things cleaned up as I'm working. But yeah, me and Phil getting those crepe myrtles done yesterday. Well, it turned into a little more work than I thought. I really underbidded that. I probably should have bid about another $100 or so, but you know, it ain't. I mean, you know, you can always try to make more money, but I mean, I'll make it up on the skid work over there. So, steady, you know, that way, man. So I got something a little bit different today. I got to make a few stops. I got one stump job to look at. Now, I won't be able to get footage over there. Them people are really funny. But also, I'm going up to the city, and I'm going to look at. I want to look at hot tubs. I'd like to buy one. I want to buy one, man. Yeah. You know, we were, every time we go out of town or whatever, we always get a cabin somewhere, and a requirement for me to pay for a cabin or whatever is it has a hot tub. And so every time I come back from going out of town or whatever, I think, man, I wish I had a freaking hot tub, because boy, it sure does help, you know, with muscle aches and all that there. So, you know, I'm like, because I was in that hot tub damn near the whole time we was gone, and it just, I don't know. I think if I had one at home, I would really like that. And you know, quality of life is everything. Last year, one of my commercial customers is a pool company, and they do hot tubs, and they were gonna, you know, work a deal with me to get a hot tub, one of theirs. They're really expensive though. Well, for some of the ones that they have, and of course, you know, and he told me that he was get me one, you know, at their cost, but I would have to pay for the install. I don't want one that plugs into a 120. I want one that's a 240. I just think that's better all around. It's more powerful. It probably lasts longer. It'll be a higher quality one if it's got to the 240. The pumps are bigger and all that. So, all right, y'all. I gotta stop right here and talk to this lady right here. I don't know about you guys, man, but I you know, I don't really want to finance nothing like that. I ain't saying I won't. But the thinking is, if you got to finance a hot tub, then you need to save more money, because a hot tub is a luxury item. It is a extra, and if you can't pay cash for one, then you might need to. You got to check that. I ain't saying don't finance one. I'm just saying that I got to look at that. You know, if that mulching work, you know, would have stayed like it was going. Y'all saw how it was going. It was I was booming there for about a month and a half. And I knew that it was probably going to end, you know. So
I have about 6 acres of land. but I'm only going to need a clearing of some of the area. It's about 1 acre. And basically, you know, the bush and the, you know, the small trees, the leaves, everything has taken over, and I want to start clearing that out.
Okay.
And then some trees as well. So is it possible for you to come out maybe this Friday and give me an estimate?
I got a job Friday. I'm not sure exactly how long that's going to take me.
Okay. When are you available?
I could come out there and look at it today if you're available, because it's so rainy. I'm not doing anything. I'm just quoting stuff today.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Today around what?
Can you text me the address?
Yes,
And
I will.
We'll just go from there, you know. Okay?
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I was just thinking, the good Lord works in. Yeah, y'all see it, man. You know, another job to go look at, but people are not really pulling the trigger on stuff. You know, I got about 6 quotes out on jobs, and they haven't gotten, none of them have gotten the work done, but nobody's spending no money either. It's just me spending time. Apparently there's a shortage of guys like me in this general area. I was referred, so that's going to be something you have to take into consideration, right? I wish I knew who I was referred by. Maybe I'll find that out when I go. But see, when that number calls me, I'm automatically thinking it's a spam call. So I'm already on, you know, and you know, that's why I get so many spam calls, because I got to answer every call that I get. So sounds right up my alley. I love being, and Brooks is right here. I mean, I'm only about what the hell is that? I'll go over and look at it at 3. It's funny, you know, everybody wants a free quote, then they want to dictate the time of the quote, right? So now they done really, a free quote has got to be done on the way to doing something else. In this particular case, they're really close by, so, and I ain't got nothing else going on. So, okay, y'all. So that lady texted me, the one I was talking about earlier. Well, I think I was doing video when she called, and she changed the time to 4. She said she was stuck in traffic, so it's 20 minutes to 4 now, and I'm headed over here. You know, I need to start getting more of these jobs, though. Like I was saying earlier, you know, going and looking at them, man, is, wish there was some kind of way I could, you know, figure out which ones are for serious and ready to do something, and which ones are not. They're never going to tell you, you know, that. So I'm going to send her a couple of video clips of what I do. So when I get there, will have seen the kind of stuff that I do. I don't think she has seen the video. Someone recommended me to her, and that's always a good thing. Like I said earlier, I really don't have a lot to talk about on the way over here. I'm really, you know, I'm not doing a lot of work, so there's really not a lot to talk about, you know. It's a light time of the year, man, you know. So it's looking like one of the damn mowers, one of the mowers that I was going to be selling, looks like one of them needs a starter. I can't believe that crap, man. Go figure. You know. Hell, that's gonna cost me $250 probably. I'll pull up right here and send her a couple of these clips real quick. So then we got some reference when I get there, so I don't have to explain to her about what kind of machine it is or none of that shit. I'm only 10 minutes away, and I've got 25 minutes before I need to be there. So 15-minute ride from my house. That ain't too bad. But you know, the conversation that me and her had over the phone, and then, you know, you got to use it seems like you got to use every little thing to try to close the deal and actually get the jobs. People can, like I said earlier, you know, people can say, oh, yeah, that sounds good. Let me talk to my wife, or let me talk to my husband. And then, you know, I haven't had anybody tell me no to my face, put it like that. You know what I'm saying? No, nobody. Everybody's very agreeable as long as you're standing in front of them. And I don't really like that, man. I like, if they're not agreeable, just tell me. Either we can work a better deal, or I don't, you know, have to be thinking if I got the job or not. I just rather them be straight. Oh, that's too much money. We don't have that right now. We're going to call somebody else. Ain't nobody said that to me yet. And see, if I'm the customer and I hire people to do shit around my house all the time, you know, if I'm the customer and somebody comes to give me a quote on something, I'm going to tell them right then, oh man, that's a little bit too much. Do you think you could do blah or blah, right? And then that gives the contractor, me, in this case, insight into what you're trying to spend. And see, all the marketing in the world is going to get you in front of the customer, but if you're not getting the jobs, then who cares? I don't care nothing about it, man. You know, it's just like, and this probably has a lot to do with me, maybe, you know, how much it costs. I don't know what other people around here charge, but they're all, from what I can tell, based on, you know, the services and stuff around here, they're all more than, you know, $1,400 a day. And a lot of them charge by the day, but most of the ones that make the real money, they don't charge by the day. And I'm gonna roll the dice over here and not charge by the day. Okay, y'all. So again, I think I got it. I told them $3,000, and I told them it'd probably take about 2 days. So I don't know. You know, they sounded like they were really gung ho. Me and the husband, he was on the phone. Me and him were talking the whole time because, well, she wanted him to, you know, be there too. So they said they got 2 more people coming out to give them quotes. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what other people charge or anything, but they said that I'm right within their budget, and you know, the same thing that everybody tells me, you know. The way I see it at this point right now, as I'm sitting in the truck, I did everything that I could do to acquire the job. And, you know, they said that I told them I could do it within 2 weeks. So that could be a factor too, because some of the other guys might not be able to get to it. I don't know. I don't know how busy anybody else is around here. And I don't know why they would tell me they got 2 more people coming out for quotes if they really didn't. Because they told me that after we talked money and everything. So now, if they'd told me that before we talked money, then I might be questioning, okay, do they really got 2 more people coming out? You know, so at the end of the day, you know, you can only do what, you know, the best that you can do based on what you know at this moment. So I might look back at this if I don't get it, or if I do get it, I might look back at this and say, you know, man, I could have got more money, or I could have done the job different, or I could have quoted it different, or, whatever, So it's not real thick. It's not a big deal. The biggest thing that I saw with it is the gray line, and because it's all on a hill. So, 6 weeks ago, when I first started doing all the mulching, I would not have even thought about that part of it. That tells you that, you have to learn things. I learned that on the very first job I did with the mulcher. So, and I have 2 mulchers, so I'm not even worried about one going down. I hope I get it, man, because it looks like it'll be a pretty good job, and it could turn into more work too. And they were telling me that one guy was saying that he didn't have the equipment, but that they would pay, for the rental, that he could get the equipment, and I told him, I said, look, if they don't own the equipment, they're not going to be able to beat my number. There ain't no way. And if they don't own the equipment, how familiar are they going to be with said equipment? There's a lot of things that go into doing skid jobs, and running the same machine every time you do one, the exact same model, the exact same machine, the exact one that I use, which is you're only able to do that if you own them. That's going to make you more efficient. Now, of course, the customers don't know that that's going to make you more efficient. They're not thinking that deep into it. But the timing of it can be critical. That can, a lot of times, I would say probably at least 50% of the time, the timing of when you can do the job is going to play a big role in if you get the job. No, man, money is the reason. Not all the time, it's not. Because usually guys like me and the guy that's equivalent to me, he's charging about the same. And most people, not all, but most people are not going to let $100 or two, deter them on a job like that. Now, if I'm buying a TV, that's different, but you got to go off of, just being familiar with my machine. Well, you only been mulching for a month. Yeah, but it doesn't. I've been in the game for a long time, and I'm not. I didn't see anything over there that spooked me. Like one of the gentleman on the phone, he was saying, I guess I'll have to pay somebody to drop that pine tree right there. As we were walking, I'm like, no, I'll push that pine tree over and grind it up to nothing, man. No problem. That'll be a part of hiring somebody like me that can identify a dead tree. Or a tree that's going to cause problems. But in order to do that, you got to kind of know what are they trying to do. Are they trying to grow grass? Well, then you approach things a little bit different. Are they trying to clear an area to build a building? You approach it a little bit different. You want to make sure that you take care of anything that's going to be hanging over new buildings, so they don't have to pay someone else to come in there and $1,000 or whatever to get that big pine tree down. When it's leaning like that, I push it over. So things like that affect. But the bad thing about the skid steer, the mulching, and whatever is these people don't know me, right? They don't know that I'll do that. So I find myself, when I'm quoting these jobs, speaking damn near a whole nother language than them, because they don't know what a oak tree looks like, or a white oak tree looks like. When I point, I say, yeah, that white oak tree over there, and she's looking at me like, okay, and they don't know what the machine can and can't do and all that. So I do know what my machine can and can't do. If I was renting a machine, I wouldn't even know if I could get it. And I don't know, and I might be wrong, I don't think there's a lot of forestry mulching people that rent machines. That rent the skid and the mulcher head. I don't know. If they do, then they're probably not going to be as good as me. They're certainly going to have to charge more money. They got to. So even if there's one guy that rents the mulching heads. He's about 20 miles from here, and he charges $600 a day just to rent the mulching head from him. And you got to go get it, and you got to bring it back. $3,000 a week to rent his mulching head. See, I don't have that expense. So, two things can happen. Well, I don't have to charge as much off the top, and I don't have to worry about getting that mulcher head back to nobody. So, if I run into another day, it's no big deal. I mean, you know, I can go back over there for $200 or $300 more dollars, $500 more dollars, and you know, to wrap things up. If you know, this is not an exact science. It's not. So that's a part of it too. It's hard to quote exactly, at least for me today at this point in time. So I think I'm going to get it. Might not, but I think I will. But I always think that. Why not? I always think I'm going to get it. But I was a little bit conscious today of talking too much, and you know, I was letting them, you know, I did ask her, you know, I said, hey, you know, any questions that you have, just ask me. I said, I'll be 100% transparent with you. And she started asking me about, you know, the machine and this and that, and you know, then she started asking me about other contractors, and I told her, I said, well, if somebody's coming in here trying to charge you $1,000, I wouldn't do it. You know, but, and apparently the number, most people budget for these things. And apparently the number that I told her is right where they thought it would be. A matter of fact, it might even be a little bit cheaper. She said, well, that's within our budget. So, you know, I don't know. And I don't think that they don't seem like the type of people, I could be wrong. They don't seem like the type of people that's going to zero in on the cheapest number. Just because it's the cheapest number, that's who I'm going with. Because that's not, you know, that's not the way I do things. So when I hire people to come to my house, and on this forestry mulching stuff, it's really all about the same vision. Because anybody that owns a forestry mulcher can come in there and do what I'm going to do, right? I mean, if they can't, then, you know, might do it better than me. But do they have the vision? Are they seeing the property the same way the owners are seeing it? And that is where you can shine or not when you're selling skid jobs in general, but especially mulching jobs, because they're looking for a look. And, you know, they can have somebody come over there with a bigger, better machine and everything, but if they don't have the vision, then it really doesn't, if they're not on the same page as the homeowner, it really doesn't, you know, compute. So, and you know me, y'all know me. I'm just a good old boy, and y'all know me though, or y'all know me as well as anybody. So I know good and damn well anybody that watches my channel and has watched the channel for a long time would not be worried about me beating them. I said it. Because you guys see what I go through out here, and you guys know, well, y'all know the character. And, you know, people that are hiring me for mulching jobs, they don't know my character. They don't know but I was referred to them too. I got caught up in the moment. I didn't even ask her, if who referred me. But those woods are not that bad. And like I told her, I said, you guys being on that slope, that is, but it's not that thick, right? The growth is not that thick. Anywhere, it's not that thick. But it's going to take just as long as if I were on a thick job where the brush is real thick and the ground is flat. If the ground is flat and the brush is thick, then I can do pretty good. If the ground is at 45-degree angles and crap, then and the brush is thin, it takes me just as long. So you're making up for the flat ground versus the vertical ground. So we'll see what they say. But I always think that I'm going to get the job, and there might be one guy out there that's just beating me out on all these jobs. He might have a better talk game than Ray. I don't know, man. But I'm a real guy. I'm local. So there's a lot of good things, and I know what the hell I'm doing. How could you know what you're doing, Ray? You only been motion for a month. Well, yeah, but I've been skid steering for 6 years. So, and I've been running a brush cutter the whole time too. I've been bush hogging ever since I was a little boy. So, with tractors and shit. So, I know how to do what they want to do. I'm stoked, man. But anyway, I'm gonna get in the house here. I'm pulling up to the house, and I'll edit this video. I know it's not no work video, but I ain't done no damn work today.